Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Start Your Day with a Coach. I am your host, Certified High Performance Coach Sean Butner, and this is the show that helps you find meaning in your day every day. And today we're going to talk about how do you create meaning each day. And it's such an important thing, I think, out in the world. I'm still kind of thinking through this. So you guys are getting a live and kind of raw dump on this. But, you know, when I think about some of the biggest inflection points in my life, or how I help my students, or how I help my coaching clients in their lives, it usually comes down to creating meaning, right? Because there's that analogy with the cathedral maker, if you've ever heard this. So there's two guys cutting stone at a quarry for a cathedral, one of those big, multi-decade projects. And, a passerby walks by, and to the first person they say, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Well, I'm cutting stone." And he's like, oh, "Okay." And the guy isn't super enthusiastic. And the next worker is smiling. He's putting his heart into using the pickaxe to cut the stone. And the passerby asks, "Well, what do you do?" And he's like, "I cut stone to build great things." And the difference there, they're doing the same task, but the meaning that they've assigned to that task is completely different. And so how you approach that task is completely different. So it's a super powerful thing to try to be cultivating in your life every day. And, I was talking about those transition points for myself and clients. Like for me, part of growing up was, my parents saying like, "Hey, you really have to go to college, and that's how you get a good job, and that's how you live a good life." And it's true, but the thing that really makes life pop, though, it's the moments when I've chose career decisions, when I've chose life decisions that help make life more meaningful. And maybe that's true for you. I mean, what are the moments in your life where you're like, it's created a lot of meaning? For a lot of folks, common things that create a lot of meaning, or having children, getting married. It's the work that you do. It's the communities that you participate in, religious, civic-minded, all of those types of things provide meaning to our lives. And that's the kind of the spice of life. When you do art, when you write music and you play music, when you create that beautiful picture, it's a heart-led, meaningful thing for you. And so over the past years in my business, I've been trying to think and I've been struggling with trying to think why am I doing this type of stuff online? Why am I trying to teach and do all that? And it's kind of always come down to, how are we creating meaning? How are we doubling down on the meaning? How are we shifting our perspective to realize that importance of meaning in our life every day? So that's kind of where my head is at with that. And I think very loosely, at least in my life, when I first left or home, did the whole college thing, I had tons of student debt, and I was in survival mode. I was trying to figure out, I was buying the 10-cent macaroni and cheese, the 25-cent ramen noodle packets. So I had a $30 budget for 2 weeks worth of food, but so I had to choose to buy food, fill up my car with gas so I could get to work at my cushy corporate gig, or pay student loans, or pay bills, right? So I was in that kind of dire straits, trying to figure out what bills do I pay in what order, in the way that allows me to just persist. And when you're in that survival mode, you can get really run down. You kind of lose the meaning of things because you're just surviving, right? You're acting, you're doing what you got to do to get ahead. And if you can overcome that, or get a little bit of space, you can start to be hopeful, and you get into this mode where you're dreaming again, right? You're trying to imagine a better path forward in your life. You're trying to think, where do I want out of my life? What do I want out of my life? Where do I want to take it? And so you get into this dreaming stage. If you can get past that survival mode, when you have that dream, that's when, and you start acting towards it, then you get into this kind of you're just doing the work, right? And usually when you're doing the work, that's when you can get comfortable, if you're making progress, right? So as I was able to dig my way out of student debt a little bit and get promoted at work a little bit. So I had a little bit more of I wouldn't say I had any spending money. It was all going to bills and stuff still, but I didn't feel like I was constantly one missed paycheck, one poor decision on which bills to pay, um, in financial ruin type situation. You start getting comfortable, you figure it out. And, usually when you're in that mode, you have some successes, you have some momentum, and if you've been struggling for a while, you don't want to take that next step, which is a lot scarier, which is when you start pushing your performance, you start having agency in your life and making decisions that are, because you're interested in them, because they're meaningful for you at a very high level, they're very fulfilling. And that's when you kind of become that self-actualized person they talk about in Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So that's kind of a framework that I'm working with. Like, let me know if you can relate to that period or that framework, where you might be in that framework by commenting below this video. I'd love to hear from you on that. And again, this is wherever you are, right? We all could use a little bit of help. We all could use a little bit of community. We all could use a little bit of new ideas. If you're surviving, it could just be a mindset shift that helps you get into that little more hopeful zone. Or if you're hopeful and you're trying to get into action to really make some changes in your life, or you're really trying to level up your life in order to live the life that you really want, the one that is super fulfilling and super great. So that's my kind of framework for meaning that I'm still kind of working out. It's a working process. So you guys are seeing this for the first time. And, I'm really excited about this. So I hope wherever you're at, just know that today things can change for you. You are in control of your destiny. You have choices you can make, even if sometimes they seem really big, or sometimes they seem really scary, or sometimes it might seem a little bit out of reach. You still can make movement towards that. You can still find meaning in that pursuit. You can still grow and have joy along the process, along the struggles, along the tears and frustrations that are inevitably going to show up. So that's the show for today, guys. You have this. I want to let you know that I do offer, if you are looking to make more meaning in your life, this month's Transformative Performance Habits Monthly, which is on the 15th. I'm doing a webinar on how to create those meaningful experiences because it's Christmas time. And I have memories of my mom, after the kids were supposed to be in bed, I should have been in bed, just like sitting by the stereo with those big like cans from like the 80s, singing along to Beatles songs under her breath. But we could all, just hear like, I won't do it. It's kind of embarrassing. But, that memory of like Christmas lights and her by the stereo, waiting for everyone to go to bed because I think she's going to wrap Christmas gifts, is a memory that stuck with me. So if you have those awesome memories and are looking to create some of those with your family, your friends, and coworkers, or the people in your life, essentially, you'll definitely want to be on that show. And I'm doing a holiday sale. That's the word. Where you can get a year of Transformative Performance Habits monthly for $40 cheaper on the link below this video. So definitely check that out, or the link in my bio if you're on Instagram. So, okay, guys, go out there, live a life, and find some meaning today. Whatever it is, do something. If you're in survival mode, do something that's meaningful to you. If you are comfortable, push yourself to find more meaning. Or if you're anywhere in between, you got this. I'm cheering you on. And I'll see you guys later. So take care. I'll see if there's any comments. I'm not super good on this. Kajabi for life. Oh, Emily. Yeah. Maybe where I am now, I'm glad to be a period of life where agency and I'm living the life I dreamed of. So super glad to hear that, Emily. And of course, Christopher, Kajabi for life is also true. I love Kajabi. Kajabi Hero. So anyways, so yeah, thanks for your comments, everyone, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care.